let's start from where we left yesterday. So we had discussed yesterday that the SAP S4HANA provides the new output determination, which is configured from transaction BRF plus and OPD. But we were getting some error when we were trying to create the output. Okay, and as I told you that BRF plus files may not have been uploaded properly, so we uploaded that files today, and I will show you a complete scenario how exactly your new output determination will work. Okay, so let me log in into the system. Okay, so let's say for example if I want to create a purchase order, I will take the same data that we used yesterday. So this is my vendor, purchase organization, purchasing group. All these things are exactly same. The material is also same. Okay, now if I go to messages now, we are not able to see any message, which means it has still not been determined. No issues. I think this is something which we were getting yesterday, but the reason was actually something else. I'll tell you why. If I click on save now, okay, so my purchase order is created. I'll just go on display purchase order. If I go to messages, I'm still not able to see any output here. Now why this is not determined? Because if I go to OPD, if I open transaction OPD, so going to purchase order, and I want to determine the output type first of all. Okay, so here I can see that if the document type can be anything, any document type if I create, and if my purchase organization is slog, in that case this should be the output type which should be automatically determined, but it is not getting determined now. At the same time, if you want to check whether what configuration you maintained is working or not, you can click on this start simulation button. This is something which I forgot to explain you yesterday. You can click on this start simulation, okay, and you can just click on continue. So it will ask you the condition fields, condition columns. So for which condition and which purchase organization, which output should be determined, that will be calculated from the system here. So for example, the document type, as we know, for purchase order is the standard purchase order is NB, and purchasing organization is slog. So if in the document these two conditions are provided, if it will be executed, it will automatically determine this output type, purchase order as an output type. Okay, so it is working fine. Then why it is not coming here? Why it is not getting appeared determined when we are creating the purchase order? The reason is this purchase order is just created. This is still not released, and output should be only reflected when your purchase order is released. Okay, so if you see this releasing strategy here, this is still not released. So what I will do is I will go to ME29N to release this purchase order. I think it was 35 which we just created. Okay, now if I try to release it from here and click on save, now if I go to messages, you can see it has been determined. Okay, what values are determined? I'll tell you each one by one how this all values are determined. So if I go to the condition tables, if I go to the rules, okay, so first of all this rule is applicable for purchase order, and the first thing which is getting determined is output type. How output type is getting determined? Based on these two fields, document type and purchase organization. Any document type, but if the purchase organization is slog, then output type which will be determined is this. So you can see the output type is determined as purchase order. Okay, and this is the dispatch time, which is the second thing which is available here, one. Okay, this is one thing. Second thing, if I go for receiver, who will be the receiver? So you can see the receiver is going to be the business partner under this role, that is LF, which means the vendor number. So if I go back here, you can see the receiver is going to be LF and this is a number, because in this particular business partner, the code which is available under this role is this one, same only. Okay, so this is how the receiver is getting determined. If I go further for channel, through which channel this should be sent. So it is specified here that for this particular output type, it is going to be print. See, this is at the very high level, but as I told you, you can control for a particular example if you want that, okay, if this is the receiver ID, then I don't want print. I want to go for fax or I want to go for iDocs. So that can be controlled from here. Sharmila, I'll answer your question. Just give me a minute. I have not read it properly. I'll come to that. Okay, so channel is getting determined from this channel determination step. Again, if I go further, so channel is getting determined from here. If I go further here, the printer settings, which is like which printer, which print queue, and which number of copies. So this was not available earlier. This I added now. If I remove this, what will happen is system will not be able to determine this number of copies and print queue. Okay, so this is coming from where? It is coming from here. If this is not maintained, these two fields, it will show you blank. Until the time these two fields are not updated, will not be able to print this purchase order. Okay, so number of copies and print queue. Let's go further. Finally, this email settings I'm not using because we are not sending via email. If you want to use this, definitely you need to configure the SMTP and all that things that we were configuring in ECC. Form template, which form will be used and what is going to be the sender country. If you want to specify in the conditions, then you can specify according to that, the form template will be decided. So you can see it has been taken as this form template. Okay, so this is how these things are getting determined. Based on this configuration, what you maintain in OPD, you will get the output getting determined automatically. Whenever you create a purchase order, based on all these settings, you will get all these things are getting determined. Okay, another important thing, as I told you, if you want to see whether this is working fine for your scenario or not, you can click on the start simulation and you can just click on continue. Here you specify your conditions based on which the result column will be displayed. Okay, any question as of now in this? Now another important thing, earlier in ECC, if you want to see the print preview, normally it was available here in the go to this print preview. But in new output determination, you will always find that this print preview will not work. Okay, then how are you going to see the preview? For preview, you need to go to messages and just click here and click on this PDF. It will show you the print preview. Okay, this particular thing was not available in ECC, the preview from PDF. Okay, so for print preview, the old transaction will not work. It will not work from here. You need to go to messages and within this you need to click on this display PDF document. Here, any questions regarding the output determination? How it is getting determined, what are the settings? As we discussed from the configuration point of view, you need to go into this screen which is SPRO, SAP reference IMG, cross application components, and here in the output control, these are the settings that you need to maintain. The first setting is related to the billing document where you are specifying whether the new output determination should be used or the old one. Second is where you define the output type. So SAP has already provided the standard output types. If you want to create your own, you just need to copy this and give it whatever name you want to give. Then you need to If you click on this, this will take you to OPD screen in which you are setting up the rules. Based on the rules, your output will be determined. Here you are specifying the output channels, which output channels are allowed for which particular output type that you are specifying here. And finally, this is not very important, but finally this assign form template. So as you can see, as of today, all these options are available: SAP script, smart form, and PDF based print form. So SAP suggests as of now to use this two PDF based print forms. Smart form and SAP scripts are still available, but going forward, these are going to be completely removed. And this is a completely new one, which will be provided by SAP once the complete output determination, new output determination is in place. So if you try this today, you will get an error. Okay. If you try this, it will work as we are done now, because this is what we are using currently. But still, if you want to go with the old output determination, and if you have created some SAP scripts or smart forms, which you want to use here also, then you can go for these two options also. Okay, but normally I think even in ECC, we are now already using the PDF based forms. Smart forms are already, I think, old. We are anyways not using it even in ECC also. So, but currently, at least there is an option available. Going forward, even that option will not be available. Okay, so some of the configurations from here, and finally the rule setting is done from this transaction, that is OPD.
Gaurav?
Yes.
Actually, can we use ME9F T code for purchase order printout? Would that work in
No, that will not work. I'll show you. There is a new transaction. There is a new transaction in place. I'll show you. Let me just see. This is in this particular order. If I think I closed that. Let's see. Yes, I closed it. So let me just go to ME22N. And let's say for this order, I want to change this to, so normally MENF works when you are, ME9F works when you are doing it afterwards, scheduled, right? Not in the immediately. So for example, if I set this to 2, which means I'll do the output later on. If I come back here and if I try to go through the normal transaction, which is ME9F, you will get this message: no suitable purchasing documents found. But this will be still available if you are using the old output determination. If you are using NACE, this transaction will still be available. The new transaction now is ME9FF, additional F. Okay, here you can see it is completely asking you the new things like output type, output channel. These things were not available earlier, right? So if I provide the purchase document number here, which is 35, and try to execute this, so although this looks like a error message, but this is not an error. This is message has been outputted under the spool. And if you go to SP01, if you see here, so I think the latest one is this one. Yes, if you click here, you will get the print. Okay, so ME9F has been replaced with ME9FF. That is the only difference. And that too, similar to ECC, it will work only if your dispatch time is not immediate, it is in the scheduled one. You want to print it afterwards. Now even from the scheduling point of view, dispatch time point of view, in ECC there were 4 options. If you go through the traditional output determination configuration, there were 4 options, but here there are only 2. One is the immediately, or you can perform it according to the schedule. Okay, any other questions? So let me just go to ME23N and purchase.
Gaurav?
Yeah.
This is Vijay. I have a
Yes.
quick question. So whatever we do in OPD, that's not transportable, right? As we discussed yesterday. So entire
Yes.
OPD is considered as a master data, or it is a configuration that consultants do, or the user do it from the business side?
User will do it.
Oh, that means when we are adding new columns, that means the condition table appending is also done by the users, not the consultants, right?
Appending of, you mean to say the standard fields which are available, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yesterday you have only a purchase organization and you added a column for document type, right? Purchase order
Yes.
type. So those things usually done by the consultants in the old world, I mean ECC world. Now
Mhm.
that can be done by the business itself as a master data.
Yes. So whatever options you are getting in OPD, that will be done
Yeah.
by the end user. While whatever options you are getting under this IMG, which we have seen, apart from
Yeah.
OPD, that is the only thing which will be controlled from the consultant.
Okay. Thank you, Gaurav.
Okay. Okay. So now let's process further. Let's say, for example, if I want to process this purchase order now. The purchase order is ready. Now, what are the next steps? Normally we go for, let's say for example, release is already done. There is no change in the way how the releasing strategy is done, how the order is released, although from the front end point of view, definitely yes.
Before you go into that, sorry, this is Ravi.
Yes, Ravi.
Sorry, just one quick question. Can you pull up a purchase order 34?
34.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Yes.
And go to the messages.
Okay. It is not available because this is not released as of now.
Okay. Can you release it?
Okay.
I was trying to use the email when it is
Okay.
giving me an error. Just wanted to confirm that why that error was there. So this is the purchase order, right? So it is going to pick up the print as the channel and it's going to pick up the receiver as that vendor and template it is going to use. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to come here and try to add a new output just like we used to do in ECC and say instead of the print, the medium I was trying to choose as email.
Yes, so you can click the add output from here.
Right. So,
okay, and
so
yeah.
I put the output type still as purchase order, LF, and just take the same vendor. Yeah. And instead of print, I was putting email. And okay. And form template, I could still use the same template. Is it a different template?
No, template can be same because anyways you are just sending the same thing via mail, right?
Content would be the same. Okay.
Yes.
So
Normally in email also there are two types of settings, right? One is you are sending it as an attachment, or maybe second option is you are sending it as a text. So I don't know what configuration, because email configuration we have still not done. So let's see.
yeah. That's where I am going to actually now. Can you double click on this line?
Yes. You want to see the PDF or what? It is just the print preview.
Click on the lens there. I want to see the details where we specify. It will tell me to specify the email address. Oh, I see the subject, which I was not seeing on my screen. Maybe I have to scroll down. So I put some email ID here and then put some subject. And
can you just provide the, sorry, can you just provide the test email ID or something? Let's test this.
Yeah, just put my email ID. Put ARR _ RAVI@yahoo.com. And maybe we'll have to go to SOHT to look whether it's even activated or not. Can you scroll down a little bit there? Is there anything else that we need to put? Okay, so email template. Just pick email to vendor.
Purchase order default email template.
Okay. I think that's all here. Go back one step. When I was, yeah, this was the type of messages I was getting. Yeah, this message is coming because for the output type purchase order, email is not set up in the OPD transaction, correct?
No, that is OPD. You are just, see, why you are using OPD to automatically determine the output.
Okay,
Now,
so,
system has determined the output based on the print because this was mentioned in OPD.
OPD,
Now,
correct.
the reason for this is sender email address can't be initial. So where are exactly we providing the sender email address? Okay, receiver we know, we have provided the receiver email address here. But
Right.
who is sending this? From which email ID? So I think this is a configuration that you need to provide, right? From where it is going.
So that configuration is on the central functions, maintain output types and all that, correct?
Exactly, exactly. So whatever configurations we were doing for email, that will remain same. Only thing is the way in which it is determined, that has been changed. That is one thing. Another important thing to note here is, now if you see the configuration, as of now, we just provided the, for this particular output type purchase order, we just provided that print is allowed.
Right.
Okay, so that is also something which we need to allow. Email also we need to allow. Then only, yes, then only it will allow us to use in OPD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see this.
Right.
Output channels. So here as of today, for purchase order only print is allowed.
You need to choose email here. Yeah, that was my initial question actually. So that means unless we do here, even though we didn't do it here, it still let me choose there though in the PO.
Yes, in the PO directly it will allow. But why we are restricting this? We are restricting so that user is maintaining the master data, but we want to control like whether user should be allowed to use email also or only print is allowed from here. Whatever is allowed from here, that will be only used in OPD.
Okay. Okay. So that was a missing link for me. Okay.
Yes.
So where did we maintain here the sender? Can you show that?
Sender, I think, let's see, sender is something which, where were you maintaining earlier in ECC for email configuration? Because this is not a new configuration. I think you will only find the new configuration here. The old configuration, whatever you are maintaining, that we can see in the old way itself.
Old purchase order output determination, I think.
Okay, let's try to see that materials. We'll just use 5 minutes if we are able to do, otherwise we can do it afterwards. Yes, purchase order and
no, output determination should be somewhere above.
messages. I think it shows messages instead of, yeah, messages are available here. So messages, then you have output control. No, this is message type and
if there's somebody on the team on the MM side, they can talk. I'm mainly SD, but I used to do MM long time back.
okay.
Take us there.
Okay, no issues. Let's proceed with our normal thing.
Yeah, go ahead with your schedule.
Yes. I'll check this where exactly this is maintained in ECC. In the same way it needs to be maintained and it will be automatically taken care. Because see just try to understand the way in which the output is getting determined. That has been changed. Otherwise, whatever settings we were maintaining for email, that remains same. So once that configuration is available, system is ready to send it to the receiver. But only thing is it is not able to find the sender. Once we provide that, it will definitely trigger a mail from the system.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, somebody was asking what is the difference between in preparation and to be output. Now, these are the two status that you will see for each and every output type or whatever output you are generating here. One is in preparation. So let's say, for example, whenever I am creating a new, by default, I will get it as in preparation. Okay, and once I process it, which means if I select this and click on this, send output, then only it will allow me to send it to the vendor. Okay, but currently, since this is in preparation, if I try to do this, let's see, this is giving me the warning message and it is not proceeding because there is error. At the same time, if I, let's say for example, if I add another output, which is again in preparation and I am following the same thing, purchase order, LF and print, because I know from print point of view, there is no problem. Okay, and now if I try to click on this send output, what it is saying, the action could not be performed, no output device. Okay, this is because you need to set the number of copies and this one LP01. So currently what I've done, I provided all the information from scratch, while in earlier case it was taking all the data from OPD. So now if I try to click on this send, you can see the status has been changed to be output. Now to be output means it has been released from here. Now you need to go to ME9FF and trigger the output, right? So in preparation means there must be some error, that is the reason it has been stuck in the preparation, one thing. Or even if we have created this but we have not processed it further, then also it will remain in preparation. Okay, so these are the two things that you will see in the status.
Any changes on the release strategy in this version?
No, release strategy will remain same. Even the configuration and all, whatever we were doing, it will remain same. Yes. Okay, but at the same time, as I told you earlier, try at least 3-4 company codes, purchasing organizations, and try various scenarios. Because see, whatever we are discussing here, this is something which is provided in the documentations of SAP, where SAP is saying these things are changed. But when you try on your own, maybe the scenarios which I have worked on, I have found somehow 2 or 3 deviations from the documents that I will explain it to you. But at the same time, the scenarios which I have not worked on, if you have worked on some scenario, try that scenario here, and you may come up with something which was not written anywhere and there is a difference. I'm just saying the possibility. So it is always good to try different scenarios and come up with, if you're finding something, oh, this is something which was not available in ECC, I can see now. So that will be the definitely great advantage and you will get a lot from this course. But if you just follow me, whatever I'm doing, in that case what will happen, it is whatever is written in the document plus my experience, that will also, that will only you will be getting. Okay, there are some questions on the chat screen before I proceed. Yeah, Sharmila was asking what does the status to be. Okay, that is answered. Second question is, what's the difference between 1 and 2 if we need to process the output by ME9F for both the cases? No, it is only for, see, the question is if I go for ME23N, messages, I think it was not saved, or maybe the order is different, order is same, it was not saved. So what I've done is when I'm creating the new output manually, okay, if I click on change messages, it is already open or something. I think you are processing this, Ravi.
Oh yeah, I'm out of it now. Go ahead and use it now.
Oh, okay, no issues. I just take another one. So
you can take.
If I click on this, no issues. I just want to highlight this. If I click on new, okay, by default it will not go to output even if I select one. When I save it, it will be in preparation. Once I send it from here, then only to be output will be available and it will directly produce the output. Okay, but if this is 2, then definitely I need to run ME9FF to trigger the output. That is the only difference between 1 and 2. 1 means immediately, as soon as you create, it will generate the output, and 2 means you need to separately run ME9FF to trigger the output.
So Gaurav, when we select this as 1 and if it is being processed, so the status change or it remains like to be output only?
Yes, status will be always to be output. Even if you are selecting 1 or 2, it will be to be output only. It will be in preparation till the time you are not sending it for output. Once you send it for output, the status will be to be output.
In Gaurav, there is one more question which I have put on the text. If I put the
Yes, tell me.
receiver as the partner as OA, then will it populate?
Sharmila, your voice is lot of echo.
Am I audible now?
Yes, it is better now.
The question which I have put is, if I put, say now you have put the role as vendor and it has put up the vendor number. So if the partner, if I put say the OA as the partner, will it that number?
No. Business partner, as I told you earlier, although business partner is mandatory for us to create in case of customer and vendor, whatever transactions we will be doing, we will be only using the vendor and customer number. Exception is the credit management functionality. In credit management functionality, because we are going to use FSCM credit management, in that case, business partner will be used. You will not be using the customer number there. But otherwise, at all different places, we are going to use the customer and vendor number only, not business partner number.
I am talking about the partner function. I mean, see in the PO we have partners in the either if to go. Can you just go to the purchase order?
Okay, I got your point. You are saying the different partner functions. So currently here it is LF, but if you want to send it to some other partner function, then yes, you need to mention the partner function here. And in case of automatically output determination, system will automatically determine the correct partner function which is mentioned in the vendor master data. In case if you are creating manual output, then definitely you need to provide the receiver ID manually.
Okay,
Or even if you select the role and click on enter, it will automatically get the partner function from there.
thanks, Gaurav.
Okay. Okay. So let's try to do the GRN now for this particular purchase order, because you will also find some of the changes. Although as I told you, there are a lot of changes in terms of the screens, but once we complete all these things, then we'll move to Fiori. So complete scenario we will see on Fiori also. But before that, let me show you from the functionality point of view, not from the user screen point of view, what has been changed. So what I'll do is I will take this purchase order number and I'll proceed towards the transaction Migo. Okay, now in Migo, again the screen, as you can see, it is very much similar to what we were able to see earlier. There is no change in the Migo screen. I'll enter the storage location and I'll click on item OK. Again, the same process what I was following earlier. Okay, and if I try to save it now, see, this is a completely new error. This error you will not get in ECC. Okay, what is the error? Error is material ledger is not activated for valuation area as log. Now in ECC, this is not a new functionality. Material ledger is not a new functionality. It was available in ECC also. The difference was in ECC, material ledger was optional. So if I am a customer and if I feel that I need the material ledger functionality, I can activate it. If I think no, that is not required, no problem, I can keep it off. But now with SAP S4HANA, material ledger is mandatory for each and every plant. I think we already discussed this when we had theoretical session, but let me give you the complete picture of what exactly this functionality is. So let's say, for example, if you are a customer and your company is working throughout the world, they have the offices throughout the world, and they have the headquarters in US while the company is operating out of India. So your plant is, let's say plant is operating out of India. So whatever transactions you do in your plant, your normal or local currency is INR. Whatever transactions you will do, you are issuing something or you are receiving something, that will come at a particular price which will be updated in INR, since that is your local currency. Now on top of that, there is a requirement from the headquarters that whatever transactions you are doing in materials management, not only it should be updated in your own currency, but it must be also updated in the headquarters currency, which is USD. Now, this is something which is only available in SAP if you are using the material ledger functionality. So if this is a scenario, this is one scenario, there are another one or two scenarios also, like actual costing. I'll tell you what is actual costing. Actual costing is again one of the functionality which is the part of material ledger, which allows you to keep a track of the actual costing of your material. See, normally what happens is, there are a lot of scenarios, but I'll just give you one example. You purchase the material at, let's say, 100 USD, and let's say 10 quantity. You purchase 10 quantity at 100 USD, and you already sold this material. So COGS is already booked with 100 USD. But later on you realized, when the bill has come, you realized that it was not costed at 100 USD, bill is came as 150 USD. So what will happen in that case? The material is already issued, the wrong COGS has been booked. So you need to pass the manual journal voucher entry to rectify these entries. But if you are using material ledger functionality, in that case, you will not be, it will not be dependent on your manual entries. It will automatically adjust, it will automatically pass the adjustment entries in the background. So this is the functionality which is available from the controlling point of view. But now, a customer, if he is looking for one of this functionality, which is one is, he is looking for parallel currency where he wants to update all the records in USD also, or maybe he is looking for actual costing. In that case, he can decide, yes, let's go for material ledger. But what about the customer who don't have this requirement at all, who is happy with using the only in one currency? He is not operating out of the world. There is only one plant and he is happy in maintaining in INR. And from the second point of view, actual costing point of view also, since there are lot of configuration, lot of processes involved, he want to keep that away. He's happy to go away with manual adjustments because there are not much transactions. So for them, till today, it was not mandatory, and customers were like they were allowed to choose whether they want to use it or not. But what is the problem? The problem was, if you are using the material ledger functionality, it involves separate set of tables. There are 10 or 12 different tables which are only required if you are using material ledger functionality. And if you are not using that functionality, then SAP provides the traditional inventory valuation tables which are already available in ECC. So in ECC, you have 10 or 12 tables which are related to old valuation, and there are another 10 or 12 tables which are related to material ledger valuation. And it is also possible in ECC that at one of the plant, you activate material ledger, and at another plant, you don't activate material ledger. So let's say I have two plants. In one of the plant, material ledger is active, and other plant material ledger is not active. So what is happening, whenever I am doing the transaction for the plant where material ledger is active, one set of table is getting updated. And when I am doing the transaction on the other plant, my traditional valuation tables are getting updated. And if I want the consolidated report, I need to pick some data from non-inventory valuation tables and some information from material ledger valuation tables, which is creating the slowness. And unnecessarily, there are multiple tables which are involved. So what is the solution? Now SAP has made material ledger as mandatory, which means now the old valuation tables will not be available anymore. They will not be updated anymore. But the problem is, if I don't want to use the functionality of parallel currency, if I don't want to use actual costing, then why should I activate that functionality? The answer from SAP is, we are only telling you to activate material ledger technically. We are not asking you to activate actual costing, activate parallel currencies. They are still optional. If you activate that functionalities, you will get that reports. If you don't activate, the benefit you will be getting is now the data will be stored in common tables, material ledger valuation tables. So you are getting rid of 10 to 12 tables, irrespective of whether you are actually using the material ledger functionalities or not. Technically, you need to activate that functionality so that these tables can be completely removed. Okay, and there is only one valuation. Currently, for one set of plant, you are going for normal valuation. For one set of plant, you are going for material ledger valuation. Even from the reporting point of view, if you are looking for the consolidated reports, you are picking some data from old tables, some data from new tables. That is anyways not going to be required because now everything is going to be available in the new set of tables. On top of that, so let's say for example, earlier there were 12 tables in the traditional valuation, 12 tables were there in the material ledger valuation. So there were around 24 tables. Out of 24 tables, as we said, normal inventory valuation is not at all available. So 12 tables are anyways completely removed. Now we are left with 12. Even more than that, now these 12 tables are also simplified. Simplified means out of 12, there will be around 4 to 5 tables now. Not all these 12 tables are required because of the simplification which is available in Simple Finance. In Simple Finance, material ledger was already simplified in 1503, even when logistics was not at all available. Simplified logistics was not at all available. Material ledger tables were simplified. So ultimately, you are from 24 tables, you are only going to be left with 4 to 5 tables. And most of the information which is going to be available from material ledger point of view is going to be stored in main table from Simple Finance called as AC.A, accounting document table. So that is the whole purpose of making this functionality mandatory. We are getting rid of many different tables. At the same time, we are not asking the customers to mandatorily activate the functionalities. We are only asking them from technical point of view, just activate this functionality so that the new tables will be updated only. The old tables will not be updated anymore. You got the point? What is material ledger? Why it has been made as mandatory? What are the side effects? So in short, there are no side effects because nowhere SAP is saying, no, you need to activate parallel currency or now you need to activate actual costing. Not at all. You are free to decide whether you want to use material ledger functionalities or not, but from technical point of view, yes, it has to be mandatorily activated. Okay, so how to do that now? System is saying material ledger is not activated for this plant. Valuation area is nothing but plant. Okay, so valuation area can be company code or it can be plant. So you must be knowing that in enterprise structure, let me show you that. So in enterprise structure, the first thing that you do is you specify whether your valuation area is at plant level or it is at the company code level. Define valuation level. Valuation area is plant. Okay, so each and every plant is your valuation area. And currently the error that you are getting is, if I try to post this, material ledger is not activated at this plant as log. What to do? Let's click on this and see. So it is asking you to perform two different steps. First is activate the material ledger using this transaction OMX1, and second is execute this transaction CKM start. What exactly these two things are, I'll explain you. So let's go to OMX1. This is a direct transaction. OMX1. Okay, here you can see valuation area. So our valuation area is S log, and as you can see, it is not green, which means material ledger not assigned, as you can see here. Okay, through OMX1 you can directly go to this transaction, or the other option is normally as you follow, if you can through SPRO. As I told you, material ledger functionality belongs to controlling, so you need to go to controlling. Here you need to go to product cost controlling, actual costing and material ledger, and these are 2-3 steps that you need to perform. Now there must be one question in your mind, that if this is the configuration which is related to controlling, should we touch this or controlling person will do? So that decision has to be taken internally. I will tell you the real-time scenario, how exactly these things work. If customer, where you are implementing SAP, he really needs the functionalities of material ledger. He is already interested in activating actual costing and parallel currency. Then definitely technical activation is not sufficient. If you just activate technically, yes, material ledger is active, that will not make sense. There are a lot of other configuration also that must be done before that functionalities can be used. So in that case, definitely you are not going to touch it. You will ask your controlling counterpart to perform all these configurations. But if you are going into the company where from controlling point of view, they have very basic requirement like cost center accounting, profit center accounting, and they are not bothered about the material ledger. They don't want to use this functionality, but technically, because it is mandatory, you need to activate. In that case, you can take a decision that, okay, I will update that. Okay, but it has to be communicated properly to the project manager, or maybe if the controlling consultant is also involved, you need to tell him that, okay, this activity I can take care. So ultimately this activity belongs to whom, whether it is belonging to controlling or you, but it has a definite impact on logistics. That is the reason you need to be very careful. Otherwise, as we have seen, it will not allow you to perform a single transaction till the time material ledger is not active. Okay, so it might happen that you are working in a project in SAP S4HANA, your counterpart from FICO point of view, he knows, he's expert in FICO area, but he doesn't knows what has been changed in SAP S4HANA. So there are 2-3 things which you can also explain him that, okay, from financial point of view, at least from integration point of view, these are the things that you need to take care of. Like you need to take care of material ledger activation. We are going to see the credit management. From credit management point of view, you need to take care of these activities. Okay, so before I talk about these activities, again there is a change in these activities if you compare 1511 and 1610. Okay, the way in which these were configured in 1511 vis-a-vis how they will be configured in 1610, there is a small change. Okay, so what I will do is I will first show you how this thing happens in 1511. Yes.
So you're saying that from OMX1 we need to activate this material ledger. However, if we want, we cannot. I mean, we can choose to not use that, right? But activation is mandatory. But I may not use that. I mean, as far as my project is concerned. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, yes. I'm coming to it. I'll tell you again. I'll show you how exactly this has to be done. See, for example, if I go for product cost controlling, within this, if I go for material ledger, now you can see from material ledger point of view, there are a lot of different things. Material update, actual costing, balance sheet valuation. But for us, if we just want to use this because it is mandatory, although we are not going to use the functional benefits of material ledger, in that case, all these things are not required. Only one thing is required, this one, activate valuation area for material ledger, nothing else. All these things are not mandatory, they are optional. And if they are required, definitely that will be handled by your controlling consultant. You are not going to handle this because material ledger actually belongs within controlling, as you see. But if it is only from the technical point of view that you want to do, it is only one step. You just come here in activate valuation areas. You go for activate material ledger. And here, you just go for your valuation area. I don't know S-log is available here or not. Yes, it is. So you just need to click on this material ledger activation, and this is also 2. This should be always 2. If you see here also, when you get the error, if I try to save this, if I click on question mark, it is specifically saying that go to OMX1 and mark this as active, and in the price determination column, enter 2. Okay, so it is very clearly specified that you need to follow whatever is explained there. So in OMX1, as you can see, in 1511 there was a direct screen where you were clicking on activate and price determination indicator 2, nothing else. You just do this, your first step of OMX1 is done. But now this is in 1511, very straightforward. Okay, if you go to 1610, same configuration. Okay, before, or maybe let me show you this. Let me come out of this. See the difference. Activate valuation areas for material ledger. See that activate material ledger for valuation areas. Some difference, okay, in the terminology. But before this, you can see there are 2 additional steps which are available in 1610. Okay, in 1511 we were getting this option directly, activate material ledger, but here we are getting 2 additional steps. What exactly are this? And even if I directly go for this, activate material ledger for valuation area, which is OMX1, see the difference here. If you compare these 2 screens, see valuation area company code, valuation area company code. Then it is directly whether it is active or not, price determination, and this. So it is available here, activated or not, price determination, and this. These 2 columns are additional, status and material ledger type. These are the 2 additional things which are added in 1610. What is the purpose of this? I'll tell you. So for making this configuration, first you need to follow these 2 activities. Let's go to this. What it is saying, assign currency types and define material ledger types. So let's say this is a material ledger type. This is a standard material ledger type which is provided by SAP. Now, as I told you, the first requirement, if you are using material ledger, the parallel currency requirement, that apart from my local currency which is INR, I also want to update all the results in USD. So USD is one currency. How many such currencies can be defined parallelly in material ledger? There can be 2 parallel currencies. So 1 local currency, 2 parallel currencies. So up to 3 currencies can be updated for a single transaction. Now the question is, which 3 currencies? Where do you define that? Which 3 currencies should be updated in the material ledger? So normally till 1511, the 3 currencies were taken from company code. From financial point of view, when you create a company code, you have the option of defining 3 parallel currencies, total 3 currencies, 1 main currency and 2 additional currencies. So same 3 currencies are taken in material ledger also in 1511. But now in 1610, SAP has provided additional benefits, which means you can decide whether that 3 currencies should be taken from FI, or that 3 currencies should be taken from controlling, or you want manually to provide which 3 currencies you want to update. So let's say if I am using this material ledger type, if I click on this and go further, see currently there is only 1 currency which is assigned. So if I have a requirement where I don't want to use additional currencies, I can keep this as only 1. This is by default. Local currency, company code currency will be updated for each and every transaction by default. But apart from this, I can add up to 2 additional currencies. Let's try to do that. So if I click on new entry, these are the different currencies which are available in the system, and I can specify which one I want to use. So let's say, for example, I want to use controlling area currency as a second currency. What it is saying? Okay, this is already being used. Material ledger type is already being used in other areas. That is the reason it is not allowing. So just for demonstration purpose, I will just create another one. I will go back from here. So let's say new entry. This is nothing but test. And now I will use this to define the currencies. So one is by default, as I told you, company code currency is going to be by default. I want to additionally provide controlling area currency and let's say group currency. So now I am done with 3 currencies. If I try to add 4th currency, let's say for example hard currency, enter, see the message. Maximum number of currencies is 3. You cannot have more than 2 additional currencies. One is your company code currency and you can have 2 additional currencies, not more than that. So now the additional flexibility is provided where you are free to choose the currencies that you want to use in material ledger. Earlier it was automatically taking from FI. Now it is providing you the option that you can create your own parallel currencies. Okay, so you create a material ledger type here and you assign the different currencies in the first step. Second step, you assign the material ledger types to valuation areas. So here you will specify that for S-log, I am going to use material ledger type 9000, which is the only one available as of now. So now this has been turned into green, which means my material ledger type is assigned to valuation area. If I save this, now if I go to the third activity, which is exactly same as we seen in 1511, here if I go for S-log, it is showing as green, which means the material ledger type is assigned to valuation area, but it is still not active. This indicator is still available. So what I need to do, I need to tick on this saying that yes, material ledger is active for this plant, and price determination indicator, as I said you, 2. It is going to be always 2 for SAP S4HANA. In ECC, 2 and 3 were supported. In SAP S4HANA, only 2 is supported. There is a reason from controlling point of view. So transaction based versus I think second one is single or multi-level, which means whether you want the currencies based on the transactions that you are doing, or you want single multi-level means it is not based on the transaction. You are fixing something in the configuration that will be taken care. Okay, so let's say 2 is only supported and click on save. Now the message you are getting here is after activating material ledger, live data must be converted. Okay, I'll show you what exactly is this. So if I go back to our transaction, we were getting the error here, and as I told you, if I click here, it shows me to perform 2 transactions, OMX1, which we already done. Second is, it is asking you to make material ledger productive, which is the error, which is the message that we got when we were saving this. So we need to run also another transaction called as CKM start. Now what is CKM start? So let's say for example, if you are coming from system conversion point of view, your customer was already using the normal inventory valuation till now. He was not using material ledger. So all his data is available in the traditional tables. Now in SAP S4HANA, since material ledger is mandatory, there are new setup tables. So when you are activating it, that is not sufficient. You need to migrate all the data which is available in the older tables to the new tables, right? If you only activate it, that is not sufficient. You need to migrate their old data which was available in old inventory valuation tables to the material ledger tables, and that is the reason you are required to run a second transaction also. Okay, so it is very important in case of conversion. In case of new implementation, it is not very much important, but still it has been kept as mandatory. So currently we have created this new company code. There is no data at all, which is in the old tables. So it will be done within the seconds. But when you are doing in the productive system, in the conversion system, when company was used from 2-3 years or maybe 5-10 years, then it can take hours to complete this task. And that is the reason this has to be done in the background. Let me show you what exactly is that transaction. CKM start. Production startup of material ledger. You are specifying the plant here. So plant is S-log. Either you can perform the test run or you can perform the actual run. So it will not allow till the time I'm not coming out of this screen. Let me just close this because this plant is being processed. I hope nothing is open from this plant point of view. Okay, and let's try to remove this test run and perform this as a background processing. Start immediately. Okay, so job has been scheduled. Now let's go and see the job. Okay, so it is finished. Okay, so both the activities, the error that we were getting, one was the activation of material ledger and second was the production startup for material ledger. Both these activities are done. Now let's try to do the MICO with same purchase order number. Okay, and let's try to post it. Now that error you can see that is not appearing, which means from material ledger point of view, your error is resolved. But as I told you, this was just the technical activation. You have not activated any functionalities in material ledger. If customer is in real need of material ledger functionalities, then there are a lot of other configurations which are also required. Technical activation is not sufficient. Okay. Now this is the error related to the financial document FBN1. The interval 50 does not exist. So what I'll do is I'll go to transaction FBN1, which is the financial document number ranges, and so that I should not get this message again and again for different intervals, what you can do is you can copy it from 0001. So whatever number ranges are maintained for company 0001, I want to copy all that into slog. Okay, copied. Now let's see what is available, whether all the intervals are available or not. You can see all the intervals are available including 50. So this is the accounting document number which will get generated now. Okay, let's try to post this again. Now there is another error called as balancing field profit center. This is related to document splitting functionality, which is the new GL functionality which belongs to financials. We don't want to go into that. So what I suggest to you also, whenever you are working on this server, again, not in your development quality or production system. I'm only talking from this system point of view where you are creating your test company. Okay. In your own server, if you are getting this error, you need to contact your financial person to understand what is this issue and he will solve that. Okay, but for you, just go to this financial accounting new, general ledger accounting, business transactions, document splitting, and activate document splitting. Here you just go and deactivate this particular functionality from your company code. So I'll go to slog and I will say yes, this is inactive. Okay, let's go back. I don't think it will go ahead. Before this we need to come back, but let's try to post this. Yes, so let me go once again to transaction MyGo. Save. Now there is another error. Correct the customizing settings for ledgers for universal journal. Now again, this is one of the error which will not find in ECC. And again, this is not relevant to logistics. This is the error which is related to simple finance. How to solve that? It is very easy, because even when you will be practicing on this server, this activity has to be done mandatory, otherwise you will not be able to proceed. I'll show you how. So just click on this question mark, and if you click this particular link, it will take you to the related error. What exactly is the error? Just click on this. The error is the version 0 of CO area slog is not assigned to any ledger. This is the error. Okay, the version 0 of CO area slog is not assigned to any ledger, and there is another error, default values of posting and controlling not defined in company code slog. What needs to be done? So for that, let me close this. You need to go to SPRO, SAP reference IMG, financial accounting new, or maybe you can go to migration to SAP S4HANA finance. This is a migration cockpit which we are going to understand towards the end of this course. Okay, in this you need to go to preparation and migration of customizing. There is preparation and migration of customizing for general ledger accounting, and here there is one activity called as define ledger for CO version. For your controlling area, you need to assign the ledger to version 0. It is very simple. Just click on new entry. Our controlling area is slog. Controlling area version that we are using is 0 and ledger is 0L. You just need to update this information here, which is mandatory from financial point of view. Okay, so slog version 0 and ledger 0L. Just save this. All were the warnings. You can just avoid that. Come out of this, and there was another error which was telling you default values are not available. So go to this, check and define default values for postings in controlling. Okay, and here for your own company code, what you can do is you can just copy this from 0001. You just need to change the company code. That's it. Now this is the error which is not relevant to us. This is for ZSUN. Let me just remove this. Okay. Okay. So whenever you are creating the company, although these are the settings which are not expected from you to do, but yes, if you are working on this server, you are creating your own company codes, this kind of issues are sorry. These kind of issues are normal because we are working on the server which is not only the logistics server, it also includes the simplified financial functionalities, because of which some of these screens are impacted from financial point of view. So there are not much, we have already seen 2 or 3 things, but apart from this you don't need to worry. Now I think whatever transactions you will do, there will be no dependency on finance anymore. Okay, so we were in the transaction Migo. Let's hope now it will be posted. Let's click on post. Okay, so finally your document is posted. Material document number is this. Okay, now in ECC, the table which was holding the document was MKPF and MSIG, right? If I go to SE16N, MKPF is going to hold the header data. So this is my material document number and this is the year. Okay, so you are still getting the data in MKPF, which as I told you is going to be deleted later on. MSIG is also still available. Again, if you enter the same document number here and go, you'll find the data is also available in MSIG. And there is a new table which we need to understand is MATDOC. This is a completely new table which was not available till now in ECC. This is only available starting from SAP S4HANA 1511. So if you are only going for simple finance 1503 or even 1605, SAP Simple Finance is also available in version 1605. So in Simple Finance, you will not be able to see this table. MATDOC will be only available in simplified logistics. So from on-premise point of view, it is available in 1511, 1610 and whatever versions we'll be getting in future related to S4HANA. Okay, so what is available in MATDOC? In MATDOC, you will be getting most of the information related to the materials movements in one single table. So today, if you are using tables MKPF, MSEG, MARC, MARD. All these tables are no more required from the reporting point of view. You can get most of the information directly available in one common table called as MATDOC. All the columns which are available in MKPF, MSEG, all these columns will be available in MATDOC, and that is the reason going forward MKPF and MSEG can be completely deleted. There is no more dependency on that because MATDOC is already storing all the information at one common place. Okay, so if I enter the document number here, I'll show you what is the information available. You can see all the information is available at one common place. Let's see how many columns are there here. So if I go to SE11, MATDOC, so there are 337 columns. 337 columns in one report. Okay. I think this is the material document number. 50000020 and plant was S-log. See if this works. Okay, so don't worry about these keys, key 1, key 2, these are the internal objects. You don't need to worry about this, but from this record type the actual data is getting started. So these keys are available in all the tables. Although we are not able to see these keys, internal keys in MKPF and MSEG, but in the background they are available. But in MATDOC it is starting with that key, so they are not hidden as of now. So don't worry about these keys, you can see from here. So all the kind of data, the material document number, the vendor, I think this is a vendor number. No, this is a material number, sorry. So material number, plant, all the information what you were getting in MKPF and MSEG, you will be able to get all this information at one common place here. Okay, so around 312 columns which are the raw columns. So if you see here in SE11, there are 337 out of which some of them are the calculated fields. But the raw columns which are directly available are around 312. Okay, so the material document is directly going to be available in this table MATDOC. Whatever information was stored in MKPF, MSEG, that will now directly available in MATDOC. At the same time, aggregates which we discussed earlier, the totals calculations which are getting performed every time whenever you are doing the transactions and it was getting stored in MARC, MARD, that is not going to be available in, aggregates are not going to be stored in any of the table because in MATDOC aggregates are not available, all the lines are available. So if I have the lines, it may be thousands or 10,000s of lines, but if I have the lines I can perform the calculation, and HANA has a very powerful calculation engine. That is the reason there is no more need of aggregations. Aggregations will be performed during the runtime. When you are asking for any reports, the data is directly coming from MATDOC table. Okay, so from from materials management point of view or material movements point of view, MATDOC is a table which is going to keep a track of each and every transaction that you do in material. Similarly, as we know in ECC also, whenever a material document is created, there is also the accounting document created in the background. So from accounting point of view, there is again a new table called as AC-Doc A. So whenever you will process any material document from accounting point of view, earlier the tables which are getting updated were BKPF and BSEG. Now, instead of that, there is a new table called as AC-Doc A which will hold the complete details of not only accounting, it holds the data of accounting, controlling, COPA. We'll talk about COPA when we'll discuss SD. So financial accounting, controlling, COPA, material ledger, as I told you earlier, there were around 20 tables. Now most of the information is available in AC-Doc itself. And finally, you have fifth one is asset accounting. So all this information is now going to be available in one common table of AC doc A. So let's execute this. Okay, so you can see two lines. One is debit and other is credit. I'll show you how this debit and credit accounts have been determined. Okay, so you can see these two lines. This is the Belnar number. This is the document number which got generated from the accounting point of view. Okay, and similar to MAT DOC, as I told you, it will get the data from all different sources. AC doc A also takes the data from all the different sources. So if you see further here, this will not only include the data of financial accounting, as I told you, from 5 different components: controlling, material ledger, COPA, and finally asset accounting. Okay, so all these things you'll be able to see in AC doc A. Yes, Arijit.
Yes, in MAT DOC table, the field names are they similar or it has been changed which were available in inside and MCPS?
Arijit, your voice is not very clear.
The field names are the same in MAT DOC which were there in MSEG and MKPS, or it's different?
Yes, yes, yes. Most of the fields are available with the same name.
Okay. So in MAT DOC, I was not able to find the material number. So can you go to that again?
Material number in MAT DOC.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, it is available. So if I go to MAT DOC, see whatever you are able to see in MSEG and MKPF, you will be able to see everything here. Let me just show you the material number. I think the first field itself was material number. See, material in respect of which stock is managed. So first field itself was material number.
Yeah, actually the name has changed. So it was matter previously, so it has been changed to MATBF.
Okay, you are talking about the technical name.
Yes, yes.
I think technical name also should be available here. This is something which is available additionally, but I think let's try to search through.
Also in this table, I cannot find the material document number as well. So,
It is there, it is there. I'll show you. The sequence is not same. See, MBLNR. Material document number, the year. Okay, even the purchase order number, purchase order, item number, all the things. You'll find all the things available, even the movement type. See, material is again available. So as I told you, it is available with the same name also, MATNR. This is your vendor. I think this is storage location. If you compare, it will show you all the different fields that you are getting. Even from accounting point of view, you will get some idea. See, K4 is what it is, the fiscal year variant, which is assigned to your company code. The current period which is open, or the period in which the transaction has been happened. All these different kind of dates and times. Okay, so everything, whatever you were able to find in MSEG and MKPF, definitely that fields are available. On top of that, you will also find some new fields. Okay, Sharmila is having the question. Just a minute. Yeah, Sharmila is asking the second T code, which is CKM start, what will it do in background and what tables are getting updated? Because now for slog as it's new, there is no data. Yes, see, I'll just give you the example of the tables. Okay, see, CKM start, as I told you, let's say for example, you are in ECC. I'm talking from the conversion point of view. if you are in ECC and you have a plant which is called as SL01, which is having 10 years of data. I think the tables were EBEWN or something. Let me just check. EBEW, sorry, EBEW was the table, I think. I'll clarify on these tables whether they are correct or not. I think MBEW and EBEW, these were the tables which were used for the traditional valuation. Okay, so
Yes,
whatever
MBEW.
data is, sorry? Sorry, Vijay, you were there or someone else? Somebody confirmed the table.
Yeah, it is MBEW. Yes, MBEW.
No, I think EBEW, EBEWN, and there were some other tables. Okay, I'll confirm you on that, but I just want to show you the scenario. So there were some tables which were related to the traditional valuation, which were holding the valuation details of a particular material. Whenever a transaction was done, the data was getting updated in these old tables. So what has happened is, because from last 10 years, we were not using material ledger functionality. I'm just providing you one example. In one of the plant, SL01, we were using ECC without material ledger activation. So whatever data was getting updated, it was getting updated in these old tables. Now suddenly, because in SAP S4HANA, this is mandatory. So we activated the material ledger functionality for plant SL01. So now onwards, the data will go to new tables, which is MBEW. But what about the old data? The data which is old, which is available from last many years, this data also should be migrated to MBEW, right? And that is the reason we are running that second transaction. So we activated from first transaction, which was transaction OMX1. Okay, but what about the migration of data? What about the data which was available here? That also needs to be migrated to these new tables. That is the reason we use this transaction CKM start to migrate all the data from old tables to new tables. Now your question is, in case of our company, SLOG, whether there was any table migration? No, because there was no data in the old tables. That is the reason it was done within the seconds. If there is lot of data which needs to be migrated into the new tables, it can take hours based on how much data you are migrating. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? So what I was saying is, you have MAT DOC, and from accounting point of view, you have AC Doc A. So this is one of the very important simplification in the data model. So although as of today, we are still getting the data in MKPF and MSIG, but still there are a lot of other aggregates which are not going to be available anymore, because the aggregations will be done directly from MAT DOC. Okay, so MAT DOC provides you the benefit of simplification in the data model. Yes, Arijit is saying MBEW is available now also in ECC. You are perfectly fine, Arijit. As I told you, in ECC, you have the option whether you want to use the material ledger functionality or not. If you are using material ledger functionality, MBEW will be updated. If you are not using functionality, then EBEW will be updated. Okay, so in ECC, you are right, MBEW is still available, but now only MBEW is available. EBEW tables, even if you see that table, they will not be updated anymore in SAP S4HANA. Okay, now this is related to the material transactions. Now what about the integration? We already seen one integration now. We done some transaction in MM and it has been reflected into FI. Is there any change in the integration?
1 second, Gaurav. Quick question. This is Ravi here. So
Yes, sir.
you said in S4HANA we are basically doing away with aggregated table updates like EBEW.
So EBEW is not aggregates.
Okay, so not EBEW. The other, I probably gave a wrong example. So you're doing
Yes.
away with the aggregate tables, and on the fly S4HANA calculates and gives you the outputs. That's fine. The question is, as a technical or a techno-functional guy, currently, if some report is being developed for validation purpose, we just go to those tables and check, compare the output of the report to the output of the data in the table, and say validate here. Yeah, this report is exactly giving what is there in the table. Now, that will be going away because it is going to calculate it on the fly. Now, is there any tools that are given by SAP for us to do that validation?
Yes. Yes. Anyways, we are going to discuss this topic during the conversion, but let me answer this because this is again a very important topic. See, when I'm saying, let's say for example, I will show you this. Let me go again to the server. Okay. Now, if I just go back here, and as I told you, MARC or MARD, which we tried last time, MARD. If I go here, and there is one field called as unrestricted quantity, which holds the aggregates. Right. So now also you will see that field is available. Okay. And if you try to run the report, let's say for example, we'll take the same example here. If I execute this, okay, and I'll just provide this material number. Let's go for this plant. I think there is only one material here. Okay, and execute this. So now also, as you can see, the stain quantity is available. I think this is the unrestricted quantity column itself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, unrestricted quantity. But this doesn't mean that this data is stored in this field. This is getting calculated on the fly.
Okay.
Okay, so earlier what was happening is, whenever you were doing the transaction, in the background, the calculation was getting performed and it was getting stored here. But now this field is not holding any permanent data. This is not holding any data. This column is getting the values in the runtime. I'll show you that also, something which I want to show you. It is from the technical point of view although, but I'll show you how the CDS views work. Okay, why I'm talking about this, coming to your question now. You said that I have some Z objects, I have some Z reports, which I was comparing with these tables, right? I was comparing whether the data is coming correctly or not. So now also there will be no impact, even if you already have a Z object which is created, that will also work as it is if it is taking the data from here. Because although this data will not be available directly in this field, but whenever somebody will ask the data from this field, it will not say, no, I don't have that data. It will go in the background, it will go to MATDOC and it will bring the data from there.
Okay.
Which
So
means most of
you
your
going directly to MARD, we still continue to go in S4HANA also to MARD, but internally it goes to MATDoc and then get the values.
Yes, for the old reports, yes. If you are looking from the old reports, you don't need to perform any changes. Even if you are going for the new reports, I'll give you an example. See, if you are coming to MARD, you are just going to this field and taking what is the value available.
Right.
Now, in order to get the same information directly from MATDOC, in your query itself, you need to write a calculation, right? Select some of this particular column where this is the material, right? So if there are thousands of lines, because in MATDOC it is not aggregates, they are the lines. Whatever transactions you do, it creates one line each.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of writing that calculation in the query, you can still continue to use MARD. Okay, internally this MARD will automatically perform that sum calculation and provide the result to you.
Okay, so that is the new change that is coming in S4HANA then.
Yes.
That internal redirection to the MATDoc table.
These are called as CDS views we discussed earlier. CDS views, HANA views, this is that concept. So although the data is not available, it is not consuming any memory, but it is still available for reporting, and that too at the faster speed because of the calculation engine which is provided by SAP HANA.
Okay, so that is the difference.
I'll show you one complete scenario, like exactly how exactly this redirection is happening in the background. For now, I can provide you one example, which is a very best example to demonstrate, although that is from finance, but that is very straightforward, which will help you understand. So you are from, most of you are from MM or SD. So for them, it will be very easy to understand this example. So you must be knowing that from customer point of view, if I want to see the open items and cleared items, which is FBL5N from customer point of view and FBL1N from vendor point of view. So it picks the data from, there are very basic tables called as BSIK and BSID. BSIK for open items for vendor and BSID for open items of customer. So these tables are not at all available in SAP S4HANA now. They are completely removed. How to see that? I think we discussed earlier. If I go to display, I'll not be able to see this technical settings and all other options. I'll show you side by side. Or maybe SE11 instead of this. Okay, so let's say for example, I'll compare with MATDOC, which we know this is a table. If I go for display, you can see technical settings, indexes, append structure. These all options are available only for tables, not for views.
Yeah.
Okay, and here also you can see fields. But if you go here, you are not able to see all these options, and it is clearly saying these are the view fields. Which means earlier in ECC, this was available as a table. Now it is available as a view. Now that doesn't mean if I have written some code which is trying to get the data from BSIK, that will return the error. Because if I try to run this in the same way as I was running earlier, okay, and if I just provide, I don't think any data is available in slog. Let's try to run without any condition. Yes, you can see the data is still coming. Now the question is how this data is coming then when the table doesn't exist. Okay, then where exactly this data is coming from? Okay, so data is coming from redirection which is happening to this view. If you can see, this view is taking the data from these tables, BKPF, BSEG. Okay, which means whenever you ask any information from BSIK, internally it is going to these two tables and it is taking the data from there. So it is not consuming any memory. Okay, it is just giving the data during the time of reporting, temporary data. Got the point?
Yeah, yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I will show you one example in terms of MARC and MARD, which will be more helpful from the logistics point of view. But this is a very good example. If you see BSIK, it is clearly saying you which tables are updated. Because why it is simple to understand? Because this complete table has been removed. While in case of MARD, it is a hybrid table. If you remember, we discussed. Hybrid is which is not only holding the aggregates, it is holding aggregates as well as master data. That is the reason it is not deleted completely. Only some columns where holding the aggregates, they will be converted or they will redirect the control to MATDOC in the background.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Arijit, your answer, RSEG and RBKP, they are still available. Okay, there is no change in that. But yes, going forward, they may be also, if all the information from this table also is available in MATDOC, they will be also deleted. But as of now, nobody in the documentations have written anywhere in the documentations. You will not find that there are any plans about these tables. But yes, MSEG, MKPF, BSEG, BKPF, they are already in the plan to be deleted. Okay, now we created the purchase order, right? So normally, whenever you create a purchase order, the conditions there are the condition tables, right? What is the condition table? Do you remember? What is the name of the code of the condition table? KONV, right? KONV was a table which was holding the conditions of a particular purchase order and also from the sales order point of view. Now if you see, conditions means I'm talking about the pricing conditions. So this table, as you can see, this has become obsolete. So whatever data was stored in KONV, it is not going to be available in KONV anymore. There is a new table in place called as PRCD underscore elements. So PRCD underscore elements is a new table which will hold all the conditions from SD point of view also and from MM point of view also. At any particular point, if you try to get some information from KONV, you will get this message, no values found. Okay, whatever information is related to pricing conditions, this will be now available in this new table. So if I show you here PRCD underscore elements, and let's say for example if I execute this, you can see whatever information is related to pricing, this will be now directly available in PRCD underscore elements. Now why this change has been done? Because KONV was a cluster table. Again, this is a technical term. KONV was a cluster table. In order to get the data from cluster tables, it is very complicated. Complicated means I'm not saying it will take minutes or hours. It may take in seconds itself, but compared to transparent are very fast. Okay, so why KONV was not converted into the transparent instead of coming up with a new table? Because KONV was not only used for data storage purpose, it was also serving some of the other purposes in SAP. Declaration purpose, again technical term, it is used for the declaration purpose. And that is the reason KONV cannot be deleted. It is still used even in SAP S4. Maybe the data is not getting stored, but declaration point of view, it is still used. That is the reason SAP has came up with a completely new table called as PRCD underscore elements, which will be used for the data storage purpose. Now, because of this, there is obviously going to be the impact on the Z objects. As I told you earlier, from MARD point of view, if you have written some code that will not throw error, it will still go and it will redirect the control to the final table and it will fetch the data. But if you have written some code which is trying to get the data from KONV, that is definitely going to result in error because it will directly say there is no data in KONV. So how to handle that? One answer is update the KONV with PRCD underscore elements wherever it is used. But that is not the suggested approach. SAP has provided one document, which I'll be showing it to you in the next session, which will be used to make sure that all your reports which were based on the conditions where the data was coming from KONV still results in the same way. So what are the adjustments which are needed to be done on the custom objects? Okay. Apart from that, PRCD underscore elements is going to give you the faster results. Whatever transactions you will do now, the data will be automatically stored in PRCD underscore elements. Even from the conversion point of view, when you are performing the system conversion, whatever data was available in KONV, during the conversion, it will automatically get updated in PRCD underscore elements. Okay, so there is no separate activity required to convert the data from, there is no BDCs, LSMWs, all that things are, you don't need to worry about that. SAP has provided a cockpit through which all the data which is available in KONV will be directly transported to, KONV to PRCD underscore elements. Okay, there are some questions. Yes, Sharmila, your first answer is, she's asking, so now all the reports which was fetching the data from KONV will need to change manually? Yes, because SAP has still not provided the redirection, which was provided for other tables. But it doesn't mean, as I told you, you don't need to hard code it from KONV to PRCD underscore element. SAP has provided some other option. I'll show you that documentations which will be helpful for your technical guys also to perform that adjustments. And second question is, will PRCD underscore elements had same fields? Yes. The fields are exactly same. They were available in KONV. Okay, so only difference is data has been moved from KONV to PRCD underscore elements. Any questions?
Hey, hi Gaurav, Manish here.
Yes, Manish.
Yes, as per the pricing functionality, this is the only change means at the table level. Or any change in that 16 fields?
Which 16 fields
Like
you are talking about?
the pricing procedure. In the pricing procedure,
Yeah,
condition type, step counter and all, there is any change
there
or
is
this is only means at the table level?
one small change. I'm coming to it.
Okay, okay, okay. No issues. Thank
Yes,
you.
so they are saying that this functionality is simplified pricing. In simplified pricing, there are two changes. One is this one, that the cluster table has been shifted now to transparent table. With the solution they have provided for the Z objects which are already available, how you need to adjust that. And second is, do you have any other further questions on this particular thing, KONV to PRCD underscore elements, before I move to the next thing?
For now, not.
Okay, I'm just checking with others. Okay, so Sharmila is asking a technical thing, which is what is the difference between the cluster table and the transparent table? From the functional point of view, I can just tell you that cluster tables are very complicated tables, which means earlier in ECC 4.7, 6.0, many tables were cluster tables, but from the technical point of view, they have provided some of the simplifications and most of the tables were converted to transparent. But still, the main tables like MKPF, MSEG, they cannot be converted to transparent tables. So they were still the cluster tables, even the BSEG and BKPF. Normally, even in ECC also, when you you are using the functional specs, whenever you are creating the functional specs, we are told that don't use the main tables like BKPF and BSEG, and that is the only reason, because they are the cluster tables. So cluster tables provides you slower results, while transparent tables are very fast from the technical point of view. I don't know what is the change from the technical side, but from the functional side, definitely there is a difference in the term of speed. Okay, now the second change is from the pricing procedure point of view, number of accesses within the access sequence has been increased from 99 to 999. So if I go to pricing, I'm following the SPRO path, sales and distribution, basic functions, pricing, and let's go for the pricing determination. I think pricing control, yes. Okay. So here, maintain the pricing procedure. So let's say, for example, this control data. No, sorry, I'm in the wrong place, I think. Access sequence is where? Yeah, define the access sequences. Yeah, see, normally, from the pricing point of view, you can have the different access sequences. Okay, and what you mentioned in the access sequence is the fields, the accesses. So if you go for this accesses, this is customer and material will be taken care first, and then you can go for division and customer, then you can go for this combination. So as of today, you can have maximum 99 accesses within the access sequence. Currently, as you can see in this particular transaction, there are only 4 accesses. So maximum that you can have today is 99, which according to me, whatever projects I have worked, I think most of you also will agree that they were sufficient. But in the industry, some of the industries, these were not sufficient, and customers have asked them, we want more than 99 accesses. Not even today, around 5-10 years back. And that is the reason SAP has came up with one of the pilot note. Okay, which means if you have this requirement, apply this note, and you'll be able to use up to 999 accesses within the access sequence. Now with SAP S4HANA, SAP has provided 999 by default, which means if I click on new, earlier it was only allowing me 2 characters, 99. Now I can add up to 999, which means 3 characters. The field length has been increased from 2 to 3. That is the only difference, which will allow you the flexibility that if you want more accesses now, without the implementation of SAP Note, you can use that. So that is the only change. Otherwise, the 16 tables that you said, 16 fields and tables, whatever you said, they will remain as it is, apart from this.
Okay, Gaurav.
Okay, so if you want to see, I'll just show you this change in ECC. So in ECC, it was only allowing you 2 characters. Now it is 3 characters.
Gaurav, as far as MM pricing procedure is concerned, it's the same thing as in SD or it's different?
Same thing in SD, yes. Whatever we are talking from pricing point of view, it is same for SD as well as MM.
Okay, so the number of accesses are changed and the other thing.
KONV table, yes. Yes, KONV table has been changed to PRCD underscore elements.
Okay, and the configuration would be the same, right? The configuration is how we used to configure pricing, that is unchanged, right? From SPR.
Yes, that is unchanged. That is unchanged. So as of today, it is unchanged, but going forward, we will be getting Fiori apps also. So today it is same. Today it is same. So you are going to use the same SPRO path to configure that. But going forward, we are also going to get the Fiori screens to perform this configuration. So this will become even more simple.
Gaurav, it's only KONV or what about KONP and KON?
They are available as it is. Only KONV has been impacted.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so here this is my ECC system. If I go and click on new entry, if I try 999, it will not allow. Only 2 characters are allowed, which means it was only supporting 99. And I'm not saying this was not possible. This was possible only if you apply the SAP pilot note. So that pilot note also you'll find in my PPT, like which pilot note was earlier applicable. So now that pilot note is also not valid for SAP S4HANA, although that will still become valid for ECC, but for S4HANA that is not required.
Okay, Gaurav.
Okay, let's check KONP, the question that Ravi asked. See, this is available as it is. There is no change in KONP. Only KONV has been changed.
Okay, thank you, Gaurav.
Okay, any other questions? Shamila, I'll check this with my technical guys, the cluster and transparent, and I'll give you the answer on this. Any other questions? Once I complete all this from the practical point of view, we'll also see this, whatever things we are seeing, we'll go through the simplification list also, so that it will become clear like what exactly we are seeing, whether the same thing is mentioned there or there are some places where you will find the deviation. As I told you, in simplification list it is written MKPF and MSEG will be or are already deleted, which exactly if you see in the system they are still available. So there are some deviations which we'll see and understand why exactly what exactly is written and where exactly the change required.
Hey, Gaurav, Manish here.
Yes, Manish.
Will you cover that embedded analytics part also? Just asking.
Embedded analytics, what exactly do you mean by embedded BW?
Actually, I believe there is. I have attended one S4HANA webinar. They were telling that whenever we wanted to create like a query, it is similar like they have provided some tools under the embedded analytics that we do not go to the BI, BWBO. I'm not very clear, but we can, as a functional consultant, we can create our reports on a runtime basis, means as we run the query. I'm not very sure that embedded analytics part, but I can search.
I think that is something which should be in the plan, because if that was if that was available, then that is very useful, right? So we must have tried
Yes,
that if that is something which was available. But I'll see if that is available. We'll definitely see in the system.
there are actually 5-6 tools are provided by the SAP now for S4HANA for functional consultants.
What are that? Can you just name one?
Actually, right now I forgot, but I'll tell you in the next class all.
Okay, okay. Okay, any other questions before we close today? Okay, just do one thing, just go through the two topics that we discussed today and yesterday. Okay, I request all of you to create some. Now the server is working very much fine. I have not found any issues as of now. So you can utilize the server, you can create your own company codes, purchase organizations, and whatever transactions we are doing, try to run your own scenarios. Okay, and if you are finding anywhere something this was not, we have not seen earlier in ECC, this seems to be something new, then we can definitely discuss on that. And also go through the simplification list. So whatever topics we are discussing, just go through it and try to understand what is written in that document. Okay, if you understand simplification document very well, in that case you will be able to clear certification exam without any worry. Okay, because not only from the practical point of view, you also need to be understand the terminologies also which are written in the documentations, like native integration and all. So this is something which you need to go through the simplification list also.
Hey Gaurav, Manish here again. Sorry to disturb. That
Yeah.
HANA Studio probably one of the tool. HANA Studio.
Okay.
This is one tool I believe. I could remember one or two more, but HANA Studio is one of them where we can create our report and all.
HANA Studio is available, but normally in the projects they don't provide the access to the functionals. I don't know the possibilities of that. Even we have this HANA Studio, I think, available in this server also, but I am not sure whether in the project, at least we worked on 2-3 projects till now, if I talk from the conversion point of view. So we never got the access to that particular, there is HANA Live also is one of the tools. HANA Modeler is also one of the tools. So if you're talking about that tools, these are normally provided to the technical guys to, it helps them to write the queries in the faster way. But whether that can be used by us, that is something which I need to check.
Okay, I do research from my side also. I'll update you in the next class.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's close today and we'll meet again on next Saturday with the remaining topics on MM. I think next Saturday, Sunday also we'll need for materials management point of view itself. And then we'll talk about in the next sessions, we'll proceed towards ST and PP also. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Gaurav.